You are now listening to the HBCU Wall Street podcast.
Great. Well, good morning, Ariel. How are you today?
I'm doing pretty well. How are you?
I am doing great. So we have the amazing Ariel Robinson with us, designer extraordinaire. She's of course a part of the huge Aggie family that we love. So we're just going to talk and give the people a little bit more of a glimpse into who Ariel is on today. Okay.
For sure.
So want to start off by just saying, what does Aggie pride mean to you? You've been at A&T a few years now. What does Aggie pride really mean to you on a personal level?
Yeah, I feel like Aggie pride is this like, if you know, you know, but you want to know type of deal. It's like, it's universal. No matter where you go, you can find that love. But if you don't know about it, it's hard to understand how deep it is. But like, you want to know about it because there's so many Aggies that are doing amazing things. And eventually people who don't know about us, they learn about us because there's so many alum people, part of the local community, that are not only investing their time, money, space into the university, but taking those things they've learned and spreading it with the world. So I would definitely say Aggie Pride is just this, like, it's a family, it's worldwide, it's tight knit, but it also is extremely accepting of like all people.
Absolutely. Aggie pride is really a family thing. Like it's funny that I can be in the airport with an A&T shirt on. Right. And I'll hear somebody from across the way yelling Aggie pride.
Right. Like, and then it's like, if they don't even go to our university, like, there's been times where people from other HBCUs have come up to me like, hey, you know, I know about A&T. I went here. Congrats on your journey. Like, keep it up. Like, it extends beyond our university, which I think is such a beautiful thing.
You're absolutely correct. Because even today now, if I see somebody just out in public with a Howard shirt or a Central shirt or a Hampton shirt or a family shirt, no matter what it is, like, I'm probably going to say something to them.
Right.
You know, even if it's joking, like, you know, hey, you know, Howard, amazing university. I mean, not A&T, but of course, right, you know, an amazing university. So, literally. But it's a huge family thing. It's a family thing. So, well, great. So let me ask you this. So being a bona fide Aggie now, looking to graduate soon, congratulations in advance. Listen, that's a feat. Anyone that graduates from college, I tell them that's an amazing accomplishment. I know all about it. I was there for a strong 5.5 years. I did my time. Right. So it's an amazing accomplishment. But let's switch now. You have had some other, you know, highlights in your school career so far. And I think I read you interned with Beats by Dre about a year ago. How was that experience for you?
It was really good. I've had quite a few internships during my time here at A&T, and I would say Beats by Dre was definitely my favorite internship. They're at a really unique point. I mean, they're owned by Apple, so they have the resources to back them. And they're at this point where they really want to get back to their roots. When, you know, Beats by Dre first came out and there was like this huge like culture shock and a lot of people wanted to be a part of the brand. And so now, like, you're like 10, 15 years later, it's like, how do you replicate that in like a new, fresh way? And so while I was there, granted, there weren't as many Black people, especially Black women, but the people who were Black and the people who like were on my team that weren't even Black, they were showing up for me as an intern and giving me the opportunity to like contribute to the projects that are going on. And then now you see the Beats Black Futures programs and you see like all of these people where Beats is like, they're investing into Black artists specifically because Black artists are genreless. Like, we are in every single genre. We have our hand in all types of music. And so to see them, a business that is like owned by a big corporation, one of the biggest on the planet, actively investing inside and outside into like their Black consumers, it was like really fun and also very interesting to see it happening in real time. And of course, they still have more work to figure out their place in the 2020s, but yeah, it was a great internship. I was able to really contribute, pitch a lot of people who I know who are doing amazing things that I think could potentially work with the company in the future.
Okay, great, good stuff. Like, it sounds like it was a great opportunity. It sounds like you learned a lot. So yeah. So now that Ariel, you are, you know, world famous. Now we have we have the woman the legend in front of us that, you know, had the opportunity to design a shoe by Nike. You know, the A&T, like that was amazing. Even when I saw it come out, I was like, oh, that's a great thing. Like, I mean, just someone, an Aggie putting their stamp, you know, on a Nike product, which is a huge brand. With that, let me ask you this. So, you know, I remember seeing the shoe come out. I remember some of my friends talking about it. I remember getting messages like, oops, they're sold out. Like I was like, well, I didn't even get a chance to get a pair. But with the success of that, like, how does that fuel you as an artist? Because deep down, like me being an artist by nature, I'm always looking to create. I'm always looking to, you know, to elevate. With starting at that being your ground floor, what are your aspirations? Like, how did that inspire you to even do more and go further?
Yeah, I would say it just inspired me to tell more stories. Like, I don't ever want to get stuck in a place where I'm not allowed to explore and learn more and like regurgitate those things into art, whether it be shoes, paintings, books, any of that. So just inspired me to experience more and to harvest those things into authentic like ways, because sometimes you'll see people just like doing things just to do them, or like the stories aren't making sense and the product is falling flat. And so for me, it just like, I want to tell more stories, whether that be through shoes or any other mediums. I mean, specifically, I would love to design some more shoes, but it just inspired me to like actually live life and experience people and feel emotions and be able to like have a full experience. So you can retell that story and invite other people to have similar experiences in their own ways. So yeah, I just want to live more life, like literally coming to student center, coming to classes, engaging with people, like being a part of a community. All of those things contribute to being able to tell those stories. And so I want to do those. I want to meet more people and live more life.
That's great. That's a great perspective to have. And I think telling a story is huge. With so many different things, the story behind it really gives it validation. The story behind it really gives it intrigue. It really gives it a statement. It really gives it purpose. So with you being able to tell that story that way, I think that was amazing. That was amazing.
Thank you.
Now, let me ask you this: with the success of what you've done with the shoe, what do you hope? Because I know, I mean, of course, I know that brought you a lot of notoriety, it brought you a lot of, you know, recognition. With that, though, as an artist, does that further validate you as an artist? And I'm saying this from this perspective because some artists go their whole life without even really getting acknowledgement. They create amazing things. Some artists, they really don't get the acknowledgement that they want until they're dead. I mean, you know, some artists, that's when they become famous. But at this stage in your career and launching where you are in your life, that validation, what does that do to you as an artist?
Yeah, it definitely makes me feel good. Like, I can't lie, like having the opportunity, being trusted to create something like that and knowing that it sparked a lot of conversation. It makes me feel good to know that people are like, they're invested in like an idea, whether or not they like it, that doesn't really matter, as long as like there is some conversation. People are now wondering like what's happening at this university. It feels great. It does make me want to do more, because I'm like, okay, if I connect with the right people, if I tell the right stories, if I do exactly what I wanted to do, everything else will fall in line. And so I hope that with this design and with the connections and the eyes that I have brought in, hopefully they stay, because it's just only the beginning. There's so many other things that I want to do, and hopefully like people seeing me do this, it inspires them to do the same. It inspires companies to do the same, to invest in the students and the stories they want to tell. Because a lot of times, like, these opportunities are like far and few between, instead of it being like this thing where like different students can invest in their ideas, or they don't have to just tell the story that everybody thinks they should tell, because it may be the only one that comes. I don't want it to be like that. And so hopefully, like, what I'm doing with these companies is like pioneering like a new age of creators at HBCU, specifically at A&T, because it is an engineering school and it is very STEM and very technical. And it's like, we can pay homage to these people who are doing things that are very vital to the upkeep of our system. We can pay homage to them through our arts and our entertainment. I did an interview. So I'm a journalism student. And I did an interview with a professional theater student last year. And so I was talking to her and she was just telling me about how like a lot of times when people find out she's a professional theater student, you know, they may not have the best like responses. They're like, how is that practical, X, Y, and Z? Not realizing that those things that are considered practical, there needs to be a balance. When they go home, they turn on the TV, they consume different things. So it's like it's just as important. There are people in all of these jobs, whether it's sports, entertainment, movies, music. We consume all these things outside of our jobs if, you know, we don't work in them. And so people have to do that. And so like hearing her talk from this very like soft skills type of career that she's going in to, as opposed to like an engineer, you can see the balance. And I'm like, okay, how do I represent that within design? Because I am on the other side where I may not be doing building buildings and like doing urban planning and all that, but at the end of the day, when you like build those buildings, you have to fill them with something. And so like that's something that's really important. And I hope like the projects I'm doing set people up that both sides feel recognized and have opportunities to create.
Absolutely. And that's so important. I think sometimes we do we do downplay certain majors or certain other things. And and sometimes we have to be reminded, listen, artists really shape the world. Creators shape the world. Like, look at the impact. Because some people are like, oh, that's just this or that's just that. Or no, it's not just. These are world changers, just like everyone else. I mean, you look at the impact that James Baldwin has had, or Nina Simone. Like these artists really move. You look at Prince and Michael Jackson. You look at Tupac. You look at Biggie. You look at all these artists who we're now starting to really come into the full impact of who they are and what they've done. And so even me being a creative, me being an artist myself, like just really quickly understand where you're coming from. I started off as an engineering major. Like I got a degree in electronics technology and a minor in physics. Nice. But I'm a writer and a speaker. Like that's because that's my passion. I love people. Yeah. And so I could do that, you know, and I spent years, you know, in IT, spent years in corporate America. I can do it very well, but that's not where my passion is. That's not what drives me. I understand my purpose in life is to make people the best versions of themselves, period. Like that's my purpose. And so I don't take it lightly, you know, where some other people would, but as an artist, you understand the impact you can have. Like you understand your purpose. You understand how important you are. We're just waiting for the rest of the world to catch up sometimes.
Right.
But I'm glad you have that perspective because you understand the importance of it. And that's really, it's great to understand that you have a huge part to play in this thing we call Earth. So
thank you. I appreciate
I'm going to pivot for a second. I ask you a question. So there's this thing, along with Aggie Pride, there is this thing that I'm amazed that everyone in the world doesn't understand or know about it yet. There's this thing called GHO. And for Aggies, like GHO is everything. For Aggies, GHO, and I ask people to explain it, but I'm curious, how would you explain? Let's say you're explaining GHO to someone who doesn't know what it's about. What would you tell them?
At HBCU Wall Street, we're always looking for new ways to help each and every one of you reach your financial goals. With that in mind, we want to introduce you to Kinley. Kinley is a financial services company on a mission to level the playing field and help Black America build generational wealth. Kinley is a financial services company, not a bank. Banking services provided by the Bancorp Bank, member FDIC. By downloading the app and applying for a Kinley deposit account, you can get paid up to 2 days early with direct deposit, enjoy no hidden monthly fees, including no minimum balances and no overdraft fees. Plus, you'll have overdraft protection up to $100 and so much more. Visit www.hbcwallstreet.com to download the app today.
Right. So I'm going to start off with already telling them it's the greatest homecoming on earth because that's what GHO stands for. And it's like one of the biggest Black celebrations like ever. Like you have all these people, whether or not they've gone to university, there is this sense of community. And it's like the biggest celebration of the year where everybody comes together and they celebrate A&T and the impact of HBCUs. And it's like the biggest Black safe space. Down to all the different events. There are events for every single age group. There are things on every single day for an entire week. And we just come together and we just celebrate like coming back home. It's like for me, this is a part of my home. Home isn't just one physical space. You can have multiple homes. And I feel like this is definitely my home. I've learned so much. I've grown so much while I've been here. And then there are other people who've never gone to this school who also feel that sense of home and security, and the people they know that are associated with this university, or if they've actually been here and they maybe experienced something. And so it's like once a year, we all stop our lives for 1 week, some people for the weekend, and we celebrate each other and we come back home and remind each other of all the amazing things we're doing. And I feel like GHO is extremely important because during the year, you can get kind of lost in all the different things you're going to, whether you're on campus or not. You get lost, you go through a lot. And then in October, at the end of October, you have this moment to really like reel it back in and, just think about all the memories and make new memories with each other. And it's just like a huge, big Black celebration. And I love it. It's so good.
It's amazing. You said a few things. You said home, you said community, you said celebration. And these are things that are synonymous with GHO. When I tell people, I'm like, I explain it as it's the hugest family reunion type party that lasts for days and days that you will ever be a part of. Like that's because you get on campus and you really feel the community. You really feel the family. Everyone loves everyone. Like everyone's happy. Everyone's eating and drinking. Everyone's hugging and dapping everyone up. There's so many things to do. I mean, it's an amazing experience. And it's hard to explain it to someone who's never been. They'd be like, oh, it's just another big part. No, you don't understand. Like until you've gone,
it's not the same.
you don't understand. You don't understand. And so we've here, myself and HBCU Wall Street, we put on an event called Aggies Excel. And so we're doing this, we're going to be doing this. This is going to be a yearly event. And Aggies Excel is where, like, even similar to what we're doing today, where we highlight successful Aggies. We bring together the Aggie entrepreneurial group, all the Aggie entrepreneurs, business owners, investors, people who want to know more about financial literacy. Like we're coming to talk money. We're coming to talk about, how us as Aggies can help each other get more money. At the base of it, that's what it is. And we invest in each other's businesses. We network with each other. Like I've done business with several people that I've met through Aggies Excel. And so glad to have you and glad to talk to you with another, artist, entrepreneurial minded person to just understand how big of an impact that A&T plays in so many different aspects. Like I'm excited because I'm telling everybody, like, listen, I interviewed Arial, back in 2023, before she became amazingly famous, this world-class designer, before, all of the statues and you saw all the red carpets. Yeah, but I'm proud of you. I'm excited about what you're doing. I'm excited about your start. I think it's an amazing thing. And I know you're like a very, very grounded, humble individual. But I just want to give you your props and tell you we are amazingly proud of what you're doing already as an Aggie. Like you're coming out the gates like, look, I'm making my mark on this world already. So let me ask you this. 5 years from now, if you could script your life however you want to, and you can, 5 years from now, what do you want it to look like?
Ooh, that's a big question because I usually don't think, but like 6 months ahead, like I'm such a, let's get to June, let's just get to December. But in 5 years, I mean, I'll be graduated from college. I'll be 5 years out of college. I just hope that I live in a nice place, like a house or apartment. I just hope I have a nice place to call my own. And I hope I'm just working on fun projects. Like that's really it. Not really much to it. Like I know some people are like very like particular about how they want things to go, but like things shift so like much for me. And then I find myself in places I never even thought of, but I'm like, you know what? I really like this. So I just hope I have literally a nice home, and I'm working on good projects, and then I can afford to feed myself and my family and take a nice vacation every year. Like that's really it.
Got it. Well, I think you'll be able to do that and more. Dream a little bit bigger. I think you're gonna shake up the world. I think you got it.
That.
I think you got it. But let me ask you this, Arial, because I love to get to know people, and I want to know who they are, how they think, why they think. If someone was to give you right now $5,000 and say, "Hey, Arial, this is for you to have fun this weekend. You can, only spend it on you and, do whatever you want to do, whatever that may look like. What would that be? How would Ariel have fun?
I would probably go to the beach. I haven't been to the beach in a while. I go to the beach, get a nice hotel, like do some excursions, sit out by the beach, listen to the waves. Like that's probably what I do. If I had a weekend, $5,000, I'd go get a nice little Airbnb or something on like a waterfront hotel or beach and just spend the weekend, take a nice little breather, maybe go to the spa. I like things that are very like calm and relaxing, even though like a lot of the things I do are very like fast paced and chaotic. But if I had a weekend to just stop, I think that would be really fun. Yeah.
Gotcha. I understand. As being a creative too, like it is something about it. We don't have to get deep into this, but it's something about the water that just inspires and revives me and just calms me. It's like my reset button. Like getting near the beach, getting near some water is like a reset for me. So I've heard so many creatives say the same thing. For different people, it's different things. Some people love to go to the mountains. Some people love to be skiing. I love the water. But nature does that to me. It's just relaxing and reset. It's about as a creative. Yes, as a creative, as a creative and as a business owner, my mind is always like, I'm always going
all the time.
100 miles an hour, always thinking about what I need to do, who I need to email, who I need to get back with this. And so sometimes just to force yourself to stop and just take in nature, it does wonders for your soul, your spirit, your mental, your physical, everything. So I agree.
Yeah, I love nature so much. All of it, the mountains, snow. Like I just started liking snow because before snow was just kind of like something that was like a hassle. But like I love being in the house and not having to deal with the snow, but like watching it fall down, like that's just very calming and relaxing.
Got it. Yeah, I just came out of the snow. I was actually just in Denver. It was a whole bunch of snow.
Nice.
But it was I love it. Like it's so beautiful. And shoveling and all that, I can do without. But everything else, like you said, being in the house, looking out at the window, I like that. So is there anything else that you would want people to know about Arial? If somebody said, when they mention your name, what thought would you want to pop into people's head?
Yeah, so sometimes they kind of have their own like preconceived things, but I just want people to know I'm a multidisciplinary artist. Do a lot of projects. A lot of them most of them don't correlate. They're individual things, but like I have my hand in a lot of things. So I'm the author of the modern day Black alphabet. So like I'm an author, and then I also designed the North Carolina A&T State Dunks. So I'm a designer. I do a lot of creative direction, and I'm now the editor-in-chief of my own magazine, Solar World Magazine, which is an extension of my like creative platform, the Solar Lab. And the Solar Lab is kind of the umbrella of everything I do. So like all of my creative projects are all under this one platform. And within that, I have a magazine. So I do a lot of things. People ask me a lot of random questions because they never really know what I do. And I'm like, oh, that's okay. I'm like, do I know it? If I know it, I'll answer it. And if I don't, I'm like, you should probably do this. But I do a lot of different things. I try not to confine myself to just one thing because that's just not how my brain works. I'm definitely like, I'm going back to that nature thing. I'm like really into seasons. So like seasons change, I do other things, I return to things, and maybe some things I don't. I just kind of move with the wind a lot. I do have a lot of aspirations. Like there are things I want to do in the future, but there's no time limit on those things. I just know that they're in my heart and it's something that's for me. It'll be for me. I don't care when it happens, because there's been times where I put timestamps on stuff and I got disappointed because it didn't happen. And then it happened 6 months later. And it's like, I'm not going to take away from this accomplishment or this experience because it didn't happen in my own time frame. So yeah, I just kind of move with the wind, and I wake up every day and do as much as I can with what's on my plate. And then whatever needs to be replenished or filled will happen on its own.
Great. I love that. I love that mentality. I definitely understand as an artist, as a creative, I've had to say that before, because I'm like, there's so many different things that I do. Yeah, I've done this. I've been known for this. I do that. But as a creative, like the things that are in my brain, and sometimes I think that there's a The task is making sure you place them all in the right seasons, because you can have 30 thoughts in your brain and 10 where you're like, I can do this right now. But you have to kind of discipline yourself and say, okay, I'm gonna do this first, then I'm gonna do this, then I'm gonna do this. Because the creative in me just wants to let me do a little bit of this, let me do a little bit of that, let me jump. And in my mind, I can make it all happen. Like I can make it all happen.
Literally same.
But it's just, I just need, to learn that timing thing. But that's amazing. And I appreciate your mind. I love the way you think. I love your ambition. I love what you're doing already. I'm grateful to have you on this platform here with, ImpactU and HBCU Wall Street. We thank you for the conversation. I'm glad to get to know you, glad to get to know another successful Aggie. So we will probably, I'll definitely probably come across you sometime at GHO, but I wish you much success. And I'm excited to see what's going to come down the line in the future for Arial Robinson.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
No problem. Well, we're going to sign off, but again, thank you. And we will talk to you later.
Yes, thank you.
Ambitious, audacious, creative, HBCU educated, fearless, original, unapologetic entrepreneur investor. That's a great shirt.
HBCUWallStreet.com.